definitely a cutter. And definitely 6 from JC.
The DBS Morning News has been brought to you by Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League T20. See cricket played louder at CPL.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to another episode of DBS This Morning. My name is Candy Nicholas, and you may be wondering, what's the health lady doing here? Well, if you know me, you know my background is in news and journalism in general. So it's a pleasure to be here filling in for Maureen, who has some well-deserved time off. So you're stuck with me for the next couple of weeks. It's an information-packed show today, but first of all, let's go to the news desk to see what's happening.
Good morning. The Infrastructure Minister says the government is weighing its options to get the first phase of the Millennium Highway West Coast Road project completed.
Can we continue with the contractor? Does the grant loan agreement allow us to disengage? And if we are to proceed with disengagement, meaning to terminate the contract, what are the implications, considering that the project is not funded by the government of St. Lucia? The only components of the project that is funded is really matters to do with land acquisition and relocation of residents along the way. So basically that is it. It is a grant from the UK government, and therefore there are terms and conditions of the grant, which means that if we are to take any action to ensure the delivery of the project within a shorter period of time, and I'm talking about a shorter based on the timeline that they've given now. The timeline they've given now is March 2024.
Both the Infrastructure Minister and the Prime Minister have joined motorists in expressing their dissatisfaction with the pace of the rehabilitation project. The National Workers Union NWU has secured a new collective agreement for employees of the National Insurance Corporation, the NIC. The new deal will see employees getting a 9% wage increase along with back pay and other benefits.
We have successfully concluded this round of negotiations with the National Insurance Corporation. The Labour Commissioner had intervened in the negotiations through conciliation and recommended certain provisions to the parties based on what he assessed by virtue of the proposals made by the NWU and the counter proposals submitted by the NIC. So based on the recommendations and the intervention of the Labour Commissioner, both sides we were able to look at the whole thing in totality, and a 9% general wage increase was recommended and accepted.
Secretary General of the National Workers Union, Johan Harewood, says the focus now is on getting the new industrial agreement signed before the Labour Commissioner as soon as possible. Starting on Monday, August 7th, the services provided at the island's wellness centers will be strengthened with the introduction of internal medicine specialist clinics. This is part of a broader campaign by the Ministry of Health to respond to increasing prevalence of non-communicable diseases or NCDs.
Persons who need to be seen by an internal medicine specialist will now be able to do so. The internal medicine specialist or internist will see persons who suffer from chronic conditions such as uncontrolled diabetes, high blood pressure, chronic lung conditions, liver disease, and heart failure. A schedule will be shared subsequently on the Ministry of Health's Facebook page.
The expectation is that the internal medicine specialist will improve the effectiveness of the ministry's current programs geared towards improving care and control of chronic conditions in St. Lucia. The Darren Sammy Foundation has awarded 22 students with scholarships for the upcoming 2023-2024 school year through the 8th edition of its scholarship program. This year, the foundation has joined forces with the Republic Bank to recognize and reward exceptional students who demonstrate dedication, hard work, and a profound passion for sports.
We're giving academic scholarships to underprivileged families across the island. One student per family is selected in the instances where there were more than one student in a household. And we're excited to be back this year partnering with Republic Bank for the 8th installment, and we're going to be touching 22 lives this time around. Throughout the years, we've been able to impact so many families, and we're just humbled and honored to have the opportunity to allow people to have better lives, to allow students to reach their full potential because they have exactly what it is that they need to perform the best that they can every school year.
Covering tuition fees, school textbooks, bags and uniforms, the Darren Sammy Foundation Scholarship rewards hardworking students from low-income families across the island. Those are your top stories. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
And these were our news highlights. Hopefully you're a little more informed than you were before you watched. We need to take a break now, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about BRICS and everything we need to know about how it affects us as a nation. Welcome back. Remember, I said it was an information-packed show. Recently, Lisa Joseph interviewed a financial expert on the subject of BRICS. There are so many things happening internationally which affect us as a small nation. So let's go to that interview and see what it's all about.
And welcome, Max. So we're talking about BRICS. BRICS, that's an alliance of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And in the last several months, we've heard a lot about the BRICS, and particularly the intent of issuing this new currency. And that new currency, as the world news outlets have put it, that currency may very well rival the US dollar in trade. And so we want to take a closer look at what it means. What is all this fuss about the BRICS? Can we in the Caribbean be affected by what's happening with the BRICS? And to help us sort through all of that, we have Mrs. Andrea Ragu. She's also known as the virtual CFO. We'll get to know what that is in just a minute. And she has a deep-seated desire to help all entrepreneurs achieve financial freedom, and indeed to help all of the ordinary citizens, just you and me, to understand fully some of the financial developments that are happening globally, undoubtedly impacting our everyday lives. Andrea, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It is an absolute pleasure. And tell me about this virtual CFO. What does that mean? And when and how did you come up with this name for yourself?
All right. So to all the viewers, happy to be here, and happy for thank you for having me. So I'm a finance professional, and I've been a finance professional for the past 20 years. That's my career. And as a finance professional, I started helping entrepreneurs manage their business. I recognize entrepreneurs need that type of help beyond, just filing taxes. They need to have conversations with finance people to understand things about their small business. In doing so, I was appearing in different podcasts and different interviews and shows. And one room in particular, there was a particular podcast that I used to appear on very regularly in Clubhouse. And one day the audience, the listeners, they actually said, Andrea, you sound not like an accountant, but like a CFO. And it was at that point, the concept of being a CFO was formed. And then the fact that I offer my services virtually, hence, your virtual CFO, because I wanted business owners to understand, the level of expertise and the level of service that could be expected. But the name was actually not coined by me, but my audience gave me that name.
Well, it's a well-deserving title that you have been ascribed there to Andrea. So as I said earlier, the BRICS, we've heard so much about the BRICS, the core nations comprising that Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And at the time of the formation of the BRICS, they were described as the emerging economies of the world, and certainly they have emerged. But give us a deeper understanding of the BRICS.
So what it is, as you said, it's a term that was coined by economists and the world really to group these emerging economies that were on this high trajectory for growth. right? So it's a term that was actually coined a while back, basically to be able to recognize these powerhouses of economies that were coming forth and experiencing this exponential levels of growth. Now, with that, they formed alliances, all geared towards economic development and sustainability. But within there now, there has been a conversation about them trading in their own currency and moving away from trading in the US dollar. So, for many years, since the end of World War, I believe, the US dollar was identified as what you call the intermediary dollar, because that you need $1 to be able to transact across borders, and the US dollar was that dollar. Before that, it was actually the sterling pound, right? So they converted, and they are the intermediary dollar. What these economies and these countries are saying, they're signaling, is that, well, we would like to trade in our own money. We don't want to have to purchase US in order to do business with another country that is not the US, right? So, and rightfully so, there's a lot of benefits and a lot of economic reasons why a country may want to do that. But what they're basically saying, the fuss, as we say, is really that there's a conversation now and a move towards not using the US dollar as that international dollar that you trade against. So Brazil and China, they have already formed their own accord, and I think they have already agreed when they are interacting with each other, they're going to trade in each other's currencies. So they're going to trade in their local currency. They're not going to purchase US to transact, as well as China has already started to do some transactions with United Emirates, I think, in terms of their oil and gas, etc. So they're moving away from using the US dollar to trust what the fuss is about. It's a move to remove the US dollar as that single dollar that people trade against.
Now, what impact will that have for us there, Andrea? Because you speaking in Amarillo, St. Lucia, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the entire Caribbean region, tourism is such a lifeblood sector for all of us. And the US dollar, of course, is intrinsically tied to this. We do our trade in the US dollar as well. How is this going to impact the way in which our lives are going to run if we were to see indeed the BRICS currency come to fruition? So bear in mind, to fruition, it's a long ways off, right? It's not going to happen. These conversations are not something that happen overnight. But if it does ever to fruition, what it would mean is that we have to reevaluate our relationship with the US dollar.
Welcome back. I'm sure you've learned so much from the first part of that interview. Let's go to the second part where we talk about, or rather where Lisa talks about, what we can do to position ourselves accordingly.
And you have very, rich, wealthy nations like Saudi Arabia signaling its own interest. So if we have all of these powerhouse nations coming together, what really, in terms of us, what can we do here to begin to prepare for the eventuality?
Well, you need to start. I think one of the things that you will need to do is to assess, well, who are we really buying our goods and services from, right? Because we may not actually be buying it from America. We'll be buying it from the powerhouses, right? So you have to be able to pay attention to the country that you are buying from. Is that country already shifted? Because like you said, more and more countries are coming on board, right? And at least having the conversation. They're moving away from it being whispers in the corridor to it being, well, I would like to signal my intention to do so, right? So I think, first of all, you have to identify if the one of your major suppliers. So let's say you're a business owner, the business community, I think you need to understand, is your supplier country affected then? So like if 90% of your imports are coming from China, Brazil, any one of these powerhouses who are having these conversations, then it may happen faster to you than others, right? Because it means that country could very well look at you and say, we're not trading in US, we would like you to trade in our currency, because as a nation, that's the decision that they have made and they've gone forward. So you have to pay attention, one, to is your country enlisted in one of those 19, right? And then you want to look at, well, how do we prepare financially for it? So it's almost like you have to prepare your business for a bit of inflationary times, I think. You need to start preparing because that is what is going to happen when the dollar moves with the removal of the dollar in some inflation.
Hey, good morning, St. Lucia. What's up? It's your friendly neighborhood Bweelzfit man with your 6-minute morning explosive exercises. So today we are going to get into it. We are going to hit the glute leg area. So you know when you get up from your bed and you go to work, or you go on a walk, or you go look for that jabal and they catch you and you have to run, you know your legs are properly warmed up. So come with me. Let's get it squatting. Let's get it popping. Good morning. All right, so for you guys at home, if you have your mat, your towel, we're going to go down on all fours. And the first exercise we're going to do some donkey kicks. Now we're not going to give a full extension. We're going to bend it and we're just going to kick it up. Let's go. 1, 2, back flat, chest out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good job. In 5, 4, we're going to switch legs. 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excellent. 10 seconds rest, and we're going to do another set. So we're going to get in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Next leg. 3, 2, 1. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excellent. Now we're going to go into fire hydrant, or we're going to go into peeing dog. We call it peeing dog because that's our dog. They speed. They raise the leg on the side and pee. Again, we're going to keep it pulsing. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Next side. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excellent. We're going to rest for 10 seconds again. And we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And next exercise, next side, sorry, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Woo! Woo! I'm feeling the stretch and the pull in the buttocks area. All right. So the next exercise, what we're going to do, we're going to stand. We're going to go into a half squat. All right. So we're going to go down, half squat, and up. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. 4. That's it, Jasbo. 5, 6, 7, 8, feel the pressure, 9, one more, and 10. Good job. Shake it out. We're going to go one more set of 10. Space the legs out slightly. Always maintain a slight bend in your knee area. Back flat, chest out. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feel the pressure. 7, 8, 9. Excellent. Whew. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling that burn already. Right. So that's already 3 exercises. So right now what we're going to do, we're going to go down in a squat form. We're going to press up on our toes. Let's go, St. Lucia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Notice my heels didn't touch the ground. So my entire body is staying engaged. However, I'm feeling the pressure in my calves and glute area. All right? In 3 seconds, we're going again. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent, St. Lucia. Good job. We're almost done. And last but not least, what we're going to do, we're going to give a back kick stretch. So you're going to turn and slightly rest on your partition, your wall, your husband, your wife. Whatever you want to brace on, I'm going to kick back and make it look sexy from behind. Back kicks, pulsing, toes pointed out. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Slide the foot that is planted down. Ensure that it's fully flat, foot straight on the ground. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Yeah, that's it, Lucia. Right on time. 6 minutes explosive exercise. You can get up on a morning to do. Remember, first thing, you wake up. When you wake up on the morning, that means there is a purpose for you. Then you try to go defecate. You let it all out. And then you put on DBS. You meet up with Bweels, and we get fit and ripped even while trying. Good morning.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of DBS Good Morning. It's been a pleasure bringing all of this information to you. This information, not disinformation. We hope to see you tomorrow for another episode. Stay well. Have a beautiful morning.
Definitely a cutter and definitely 6 from JC.
The DBS Morning News has been brought to you by Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League T20. See cricket played louder at CPL.